Please join me in welcoming Dan Pelosi and Juanita Moore to the JCC. Thank you.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Juanita.
We go way back. Dan and I go way back.
Very far, far back.
I love the story that you tell about the night that we actually met.
Yes, it's in this book.
It's in the book.
Yes.
What year was that?
Forever
2007?
Yeah. It was probably I moved to San Francisco in 2006. It was probably 2006, 2007. It wasn't, I moved here and, felt very I'm young and I need to go out. Yeah. And then there you were.
Yeah. I had started, I have a long history with San Francisco. I'm a Bay baby. I was born in the East Bay and was literally getting on BART and running over here to be a little queer kid when I was in high school. So I have a long relationship with the San Francisco queer culture. And I decided to throw a party in the Castro, and it was called Booty Call Wednesdays.
It was iconic.
That's where we went.
A few of us were there. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, that party somehow Wednesday nights for me. Despite having a corporate job at Gap corporate and
for everybody, it was a Wednesday night for everyone. And I actually did a reunion last year because the party's been closed for 15 years or 10 years, something like that. Yeah. And everyone there was like, "Oh my God, Juanita, you have to do this every weekend." Yeah. And I was looking at them and was like, "You are all old.
Yeah.
You are not going to come out every Wednesday and rage and drink until 2 a.m. like you did."
If you can get me to do it, I didn't drink too much, but I did leave the house and I was very excited. And I don't know, it felt like I was under a spell. But I think, I moved here from Connecticut. I moved here from my very safe Italian American upbringing. I had gone to college but I didn't have a ton of friends when I moved here, and so I sort of just went out trying to meet people, which is tough. And you were behind the DJ booth, and do you want me to tell
tell them?
And it was just so magical because we locked eyes. And I looked at you and you just said, "Come here." And I went up to the DJ booth and you fucking handed me a cupcake in the middle of a club. Yeah. And I just was like, wow, I've never felt more seen or understood. And I think welcome. Truly, but it was such a specific gesture that was so important to me because that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be in bed with a cupcake, in silence. But it was a good medium. It was a good medium for me. And then we quickly, you are such an incredible, you've adopted so many young gay men and women and everywhere in between in San Francisco, and have just nurtured them and been such a great mother.
Yes,
for them.
I'm mom.
Your mom.
I've become mom.
Yeah,
a lot of queer kids,
and I think that's why we get along because I'm mom to a lot of people as well. So, but then soon we were having dinner at your house, and it was just so beautiful. Yeah. And
I'm so proud of you. I love
you.
The second book. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
And I heard that you have some special news that you might need to tell us.
I do have some really special news. I just found out a couple hours ago that you're going to get the exclusive on. Shall I tell it?
Yes, I think you should.
Let's Party is officially a New York Times bestseller.
Yay.
It's and it's all because of all of you. It's your fault. And I'm so grateful.
2 bestsellers, Dan. What does that feel like?
It's extremely, it's incredible. I'm not going to lie. It's never expected. I sort of told myself it's not going to happen this time. And that's great. And when it happened, I just was like, wow, what a wonderful way to feel loved and, cared for. So yeah, this is over 2 years in the making, and
what was the inspiration? How did it come up? How did the inspiration?
This book?
Yeah.
Well, so many things. I think, as a former marketer, as a former designer, I'm so lucky to be in conversation like we are with all of you in my DMs all the time. And I write back and we chat and I get so many great questions. And I think I really hear from a lot of people, Grossi, how do you throw a party 2 or 3 nights a week? How does it work? You're always having people over. And to me, I'm always like, that's not a party. Like that, because the word party to me always had sort of like something. I was like, I don't do parties. Like I'm not a party person. But I realized what they meant was like a dinner party, which has, such a wonderful sort of energy to it. And I do throw dinner parties, but I do them sort of like without even thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And so the inspiration for this book was to really help other people throw parties without knowing they're doing it, right? The more you do it, the more it just becomes second nature. And I was like raised by many Italian Americans and I was an indoor kid. So I would just watch them all like host and I would watch them all like make so much food and I was taking notes furiously and I learned so much and now I can carry that energy on. And then, when that sort of ended, or not ended, but when I moved here, you became the person who I became obsessed with the way that you entertained. You invited me immediately over to your house for dinner. We would shop the farmer's market and you would do such beautiful, really specific things in terms of entertaining and introducing people and cooking. And so I realized that like all of those things are what I'm excited to share in this book. And at the heart of that is the menu, because that's the thing that grounds me.
Yeah.
As a kid, you didn't go to anyone's house without knowing what you were going to eat. You always knew what was going to be there when you got there. And it was sort of the thing that soothed us. And when I went to your house for dinner for the first time, I realized I felt immediately calm because you would post the menu on your wall of your kitchen for everyone to know.
For everybody to see.
Like you'd walk in and I would beeline to that menu and I would feel really cared for and also knew that I wasn't going to starve, which is a huge anxiety as well. But it just made me realize that now as an entertainer, I both invite people by telling them what we're eating and I also get myself through the party by preparing the menu in the way that I do, which is over time, which is making a plan, which is writing it all down. I do what you do and I keep myself in track. So that's really the inspo for this.
Yeah, that's fabulous. I mean, also to like going to the farmer's market, like you said, that's inspiration sometimes for me for dinner. Sometimes I go, I don't know, I'm having guests for dinner. I don't know what I'm going to cook yet. And then I go to farmer's market and it's like, oh my God, that is perfect.
Yeah.
It's not what I thought I was going to cook, but that is what I'm going to cook.
And and there's a whole chapter in this book called Farmer's Market Feast. And it's in celebration of being inspired by all that produce. And I did not go to farmer's markets when I was a kid. Like Bimpy wasn't going to the farm. There was, the aisles of ShopRite were our farmer's market. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it would rain. And we would get excited. But yeah, I think, when I moved to Rome in college, that was my first time at the Campo de Fiore. I would walk through it every day and I would just be like, this is incredible. And then when I moved to San Francisco, you introduced me to the Ferry Building. Yeah. And I would watch the way that you would maneuver through the market. And it taught me what the beauty of the farmer's market is and what it can be. And in that book, there's I love a guide. There's a guide to shopping the farmer's market, which really talks about the way that I do it. And again, I say Juanita's all over this book, and that is another place that you are.
I am flattered. Thank you.
No, it's so great. I've been waiting for this night. I knew when I would find out if I did or didn't hit the bestseller list, and I knew it would be tonight. And I was so grateful to be here with you, whether I did or didn't make the list, because it just felt like either way it would be a celebration. So
it's a fabulous celebration. Yeah. Thank you. So many years ago, I did a Halloween party, and when I throw parties, even now, people love to get dressed up. I'm a fashionable drag queen, and people know that they need to bring a look of some sort. So we did this big Halloween party at this big club, and the outfits were mind-blowing, the energy that people put into everything that they created. And then walked in Dan, dressed as Ina Garten. And I was one of the judges, and though this person dressed as this cyclop that they had made everything, I still kept looking over you with no makeup on and just that little bob wig.
But it was literally your wig.
And
I texted you to be like, do you have an Ina Garten wig? And you saved my ass. And then I went to the maternity section of Old Navy and bought like stretchy jeans.
I know.
Which is not a size positive statement. I'm sorry, I know. But it did happen. Sorry.
But it came time for to announce the winner, and I just looked around, and it was like inside the garden.
Yeah. It really was. The girls, and I knew my people, because that night very few people knew who I was, but the ones who did, like, we're still friends.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it was huge. I did have a mixing bowl and a spatula.
You brought a mixing bowl and a wooden spoon.
Yeah, which is a good place to put things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still pack for vacation in my Dutch oven.
Oh,
anyways,
good.
Different conversation. Yeah.
Talk to me about, I love that it's styled as menus. That is a beautiful way to put a book together, and it's not how we normally look at cookbooks or see cookbooks. So
yeah, that was really important to me. My editor, who is incredibly talented, has a lot of opinions, and is specific. She has told me that she's never had an author, a cookbook author, or any author who's put together more creative decks and presentations than me, which I love. That's my background. That's how I think. And the very first thing when I realized I was gonna, develop this book as a series of menus, I was like, I really want to style it in a way where the whole menu or the whole chapter feels like it's actually on the table together, because that is what these recipes are, all just like regular recipes that I would make any night of the week. But the idea that they are curated in a way that when you put them all together on the table, they create a specific experience, and they also are designed so that some of them are room temperature, some of them are cold, and a few of them are really like served like straight from the oven. And that's how you really successfully throw a dinner party, so that you're not trying to pull everything out of the oven at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
So you're curating the table in a way that's doable and also delicious. And so the last piece to that was really styling it and having a lot of fun. My prop stylist is always my favorite person on set. I drive them absolutely insane. But I wanted to make it feel really specific, really festive. I am sort of a Pinterest mom. And so there are ceramic tomato, salt, and pepper shakers, or like a little fried egg sculpture, or just those little fun moments where you might think like, oh, how can I find something in my house that's going to become like a conversation piece on the table? And I also did another thing, which is I really did not want this book to look or feel like it was shot in my house, because I sort of give like heavy house, and I just didn't, not music, just actual house.
Yeah.
And that's not what this book is about. This book isn't about having my insane collection of textiles or ceramics, because that's my only thing I spend money on, and my only hobby in life is to buy ceramics and textiles. I want you to feel like you can throw a dinner party and host with truly the barest essentials. Like you can serve straight from the pan.
Oh, hold right there.
Yeah.
Isn't Heath Ceramics having a sale this weekend?
They are. It's the factory sale.
Yeah, you just reminded me of that.
No, Kath and I will probably be there before I fly out. Well, Heath Ceramics, actually, can we just have a moment for our hometown heroes?
Yeah.
I
love Heath Ceramics.
Yes, I love them. And I casually texted the girl there who I now know, and I was like, hey, would you guys be into donating one or two things to the book? They donated so much stuff for this book. It's beautiful. And so there's Heath all throughout the book, and they are just so amazing.
I have no room for not one more piece of Heath.
Really?
Ceramics
I know.
in my kitchen. No, not.
I know. I remember your kitchen. You have such a everything has this very specific place, and there are drawers inside of drawers.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I've been in my apartment now for 34 years, actually.
Yeah.
Thank God for rent control. I can't move anywhere else. I can't live any place
Your
else.
closet is...
Yeah. And I'm in a big studio apartment and in a kitchen that I basically, when the manager wasn't there, had a friend come over and we tore it down and rebuilt it without them knowing.
Yeah.
Floor and everything. Seriously.
Well, I think it's to me, it's such a testament. And I've been getting asked a lot on this tour, and I get asked a lot in general, sort of about my home and how it relates to entertaining. And I think that it is a part of what I encourage people to do in this book is the reason why people want to come to your house for your dinner party is they want to get to know you and who you are, and they want to experience the way you live. And I think that you shouldn't hold back. And I think you should really feel good about sharing so much of that with people, in whatever way you feel great about. Right. And I think that's something that you do so unabashedly. It's just such an unapologetic experience when I'm at your house and when I eat with you. And
my God! During the holidays, they make tamales every year, and I was in the kitchen bringing tamales to the table, and the table was set, and people were there, and they were eating, and I was, taking back the husks into the kitchen, and blah, blah. And every time I turned around, that plate of tamales was empty, and I could not figure out why. I was like, okay, there's only 8 people eating here. Like, how is this happening? And then I find out that Dan and my now son-in-law were having a tamale competition contest.
We went hard.
You guys went hard.
Yeah, I let him win. Sometimes you have to let people win. It's about confidence.
Yeah, Dan wouldn't say that.
Yeah. I mean, it was so fun.
Yeah.
And that's just like, and these are all people, like the way that I would, Juanita wrote, and I asked you to specifically write a guide in this book. It's the guide to the guest list.
Yeah.
Because you at once are in control of some of the most powerful guest lists and nightclubs in the city, in the world. But you also do the most beautiful job of curating the guest list in your home.
It's important. It's important. For me, I understand that I'm also bringing people together who may not go out all the time or don't go to to restaurants every night. Don't cook dinners at home for friends. So I'm entertaining in a kind of double kind of way there.
Absolutely. I met so many people at your table and it was just like
that are still your friends today.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's just like, it was just so amazing. And the way that you sort of seek out specific roles for people who you invite was so amazing. And I also love, so we chatted and then you wrote up your guide. And one of the things you wrote was how to not get invited back.
Oh yeah, I have some things. So like I just said, I live in a studio apartment. I have a particular amount of vases. So I do not want people to bring flowers because I've already put flowers in the vases that I have. Mm-hmm. So if you bring me flowers, I'm looking at them like, where do I put these? And they end up going in the kitchen and going in a pot with water. They don't end up being shown to anybody. Number one, don't bring flowers.
Don't bring flowers. I actually kind of agree. Don't make me work. I'm already working.
What else? Oh gosh.
There was
the food thing.
The Thai food. Yeah.
Yeah. I being late is really just not good for me. I'm not reheating a frozen pizza for you guys, so
exactly.
Please don't be late.
It's timed.
Yeah.
If I invite you at 7:30, we're eating at 7:45.
Well, I have that chef's brain of like, okay, this has got to be pulled out of the freezer at this time. This has got to go in the oven at this. Make sure everybody's eating it together.
Yeah.
I did once have a friend arrive with a takeout box of Thai food, and I said, "Oh," I go, "What's that for?" Well, I got hungry on my way over, and I was like, oh.
Like, so you're gone. Yeah, you're gone.
Hungry on your way over to the place where I'm going to stuff you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like way to tell. Like that's one way to say like I don't know you. I've never met you. Like truly,
they didn't get invited back.
Yeah, no. Why would they? And they were late. Can I tell people what you just told me in the back, which blew my mind?
Sure.
You don't eat in drag.
I don't eat in drag,
which is like incredible.
Well, I don't. I mean, it takes me 2 hours to get in drag. I don't want to mess up the makeup. All of my dresses have been made by one person in the 33 years that I've done drag.
Okay.
I have over 5,000 pieces from Mr. David Couture, who's been my friend since we met in the 80s. He has made every single dress I've ever worn. I had one young designer come over to my apartment saying, I really want to make a dress for you. They walked into my apartment and saw the dresses David made me hanging, and they backed out.
Oh, wow.
So I don't want to spill it down the front of me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, God, the story of me going to galas.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, I get invited to a lot of galas in the city, and I bring an escort, and the two things for me. I tell the escort, you have to introduce yourself first so that I could hear the name of the person that we're talking to because I don't remember anybody's name anymore.
So
first thing. And the second thing is I don't eat, so you have to eat my plate first so that it looks like I finished all the food. I have got 2 guys. I'm not joking. I could blink an eye and they have finished the plate of food that was in front of me.
I mean, I just want to say now you have 3. When I'm in town,
yes, exactly.
That is my dream job. I really just want to eat 2 plates of food always.
Yeah, there you go. Then you're going to have to be my date.
I've been doing that to my sister my whole life. She's like, I just eat whatever. We don't even talk about it.
Speaking of eating food.
Yeah.
What is the one thing that you just blindly eat without even thinking about it that you have all the time?
That I have all the time.
All the time.
Cereal.
Cereal. What kind of cereal?
Rice Chex, Corn Chex, Special K Red Berries. It is like I spend so much time doing recipe development, and so like in the middle of that, like you're eating like the weirdest, most specific thing all day, and like mini bites of it. So then I'll just be like, I just need to eat a bowl of cereal because my like blood sugar will be low. It's not glamorous, but it truly is. And I just worked with Special K, and I was kind of freaking out. It was like I manifested it.
Wow,
Yeah.
I love that.
So there's that, and then I love oatmeal. Mm-hmm. Like I always tell people, everyone knows I wake up starving, and so I microwave some oatmeals, throw some oatmeals. I microwave some oatmeal, throw a scoop of peanut butter on top, and I'm like good to go.
You're good to go.
Yeah, it's like easy, convenient stuff when it's just me.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it goes. When people are coming over, I'm like, oh, I eat like this all the time. I don't, but.
It's chocolate chip cookies for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, my chocolate chip cookies are inspired by baking them with you and Cole for years.
Yeah.
We
really
we
did.
sort of like worked that out.
We worked that out.
So good. Yeah. Yeah.
So talk to me about, I love the styling of the book.
Thank you.
I love the photographs.
Thank you.
So talk to me about that sort of stuff and how you create that in your mind to make it happen on the paper.
Well, I mean, I think it started with this book. I stopped to sort of think about like, okay, what menus and what parties do I throw regularly and how do I do it throughout the year? So as a Fire Island house mom, a vacation house mom, I thought about like in the middle of the day, there's a pool, or maybe we're at the beach, like what are we eating? And that became the sort of dips in the pool chapter, which is about like making a series of dips that just kind of feed you, get you through the afternoon before the sort of big dinner or the late breakfast. Then also those dips you could use on the dinner table or the breakfast table. So the sort of things that you can like have in the fridge and sort of throw a casual party in the afternoon. Or what else? I thought about like, as I'm hosting Thanksgiving in my own home now, and I'm like slowly peeling back the layers of my like very specific Italian American Thanksgiving traditions, where my family, like Bimpy, just like won't let me change anything. Yeah. But I love the sort of idea of slowly making Thanksgiving mine, or in the way that we throw Friendsgivings. And so once I sort of landed those like themes for the dinners, I obviously got to work on the recipes, but I also got to work on like all the inspiration for the ways that I could think about like setting the table and all the sort of fun things that I would do. And then I met with my prop stylist, and we just like went crazy pulling inspiration images and colors and thinking about like, okay, so it is Thanksgiving, but we don't want the table to feel like a traditional Thanksgiving table. So we did this like beautiful denim, like dyed like tablecloth, and it just felt like a fresh take on sort of like a holiday. Like we did Girls Night In, which was inspired by like a steakhouse. So there was a deck of cards, and we pulled all the queens and like put them out on the table. Just like things like that were like little winks that make you feel like, oh, this is fun and attainable, and like I could get a deck of cards, and maybe we are playing cards during dinner, or like rolling dice on a picnic blanket. So just to make it feel really like at once kind of like heightened and whimsical, but also really doable. Like there's nothing in the book that you can't own yourself.
Yeah, it's stunning. And I've also noticed that the tablecloth here is the same as your jacket.
Oh, thought you'd never ask. I fell in love with this fabric. My prop stylist pulled 7 million fabrics, and when she showed up to set, this fabric was on the table, and I was like, that is the most beautiful me fabric ever. So I had this whole conversation with my publisher, and I was like, I'd love for that to be on the cover. And then in my first book, I took the cover fabric, and then we used it on the inside in the end papers. That was like the plaid. And then we did it here. And so it just makes me so happy to kind of like have some things that stay the same from one book to the next. And hopefully there'll be a next one. It feels better now that it's a bestseller, which is exciting. People believe in me. And so then my friend Eddie, who's right here, is my stylist for this book, and also for the book tour, for the first book tour, and introduced me to an amazing tailor in Brooklyn who made shirts out of the tablecloths of Let's Eat. And then for this book, I was like, I think I want to do a chore coat, and Eddie and Albie and I just like brought this to life.
It's so great.
It's incredible. I will say though, it is upholstery fabric.
Oh, of course.
So when I
have many evening gowns made out of upholstery fabric.
You have the breathability of a couch. So it's not the best. But luckily we're in breezy San Francisco. And when I walked into this room and felt the air conditioning, I looked at you and I was like, oh, thank fucking God. Because it's not the best choice, but it's just like, I didn't really wear the shirts from Let's Eat. It felt like but this I think I have to wear. Like it's so good.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
It's really good.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm just that girl who just goes on that journey,
Yeah.
It's really fun.
What does Gus love for you to cook for him?
Oh, that's such a good question. Gus, what do you love for me to cook?
Does everybody know
Gus is
Dan's
right here.
partner, Gus?
Yeah. Do you want to come up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, come on up.
Okay, the perfect menu would be... I mean, he cooks a lot for me, obviously. I think steak frites comes to mind immediately, like any kind of steak dish. One of the first dishes he ever made for me when he was wooing me. What was that called? It's like steak.
It's in Let's Eat.
Oh, right.
It's the steak over like with the Parmesan and the balsamic over like the
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. And then dessert, there was a caramelized banana pudding in this book on page 216. I didn't forget. Make that. That's insane. My whole family's had that. It's incredible. I think that's my fave.
I love that.
Yeah.
So meat and sweet.
Meat and sweet. I'm pretty simple.
I mean, it's... Every time I get asked about serving sizes, it's like... It's such a hard question to answer because Gus and I will just devour anything. So I always tell people, and this is a good guess thing, I always give like recommended serving sizes because like I sort of have to, right? Like it's kind of part of writing a recipe. And in this book, the serving sizes are all based on you putting all 5 or 6 recipes down on the table together. So they serve about 8 people because there's 6 other things on the table. Mm-hmm. But it's a hard math to sort of do. And I always tell people, if you really want to understand serving sizes, you have to understand your guests, right? Like, who's coming over and who's going to eat.
Yes.
And who's not. And that's kind of how I always adjust. So part of hosting is really knowing your audience. And I also think part of it is guiding them. Like if I want my people to make it to dessert, you have to kind of like pull back on a couple areas because you've got this like showstopper dessert that you're going to throw down, or it just breaks my heart when people are like, oh, I'm so full.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you had to remind people that dessert is coming?
Yeah.
Like, slow down.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, come on. Where do you think you are? So yeah, but it's weird because it's not weird. It's some of the chapters or the menus in this book don't have a dessert, and I think that there's something nice about that too, because I don't think that it always has to be part of the meal, but I think in certain menus or certain occasions you want it. So again, if we're talking about kind of like how to enter entertaining, if you're not a natural entertainer, just don't feel like your dinner party has to look like everyone else's. There's ways to do it and really focus on what your strengths are. And I'm really truly excited about people throwing a party and saying, hey, I have this cookbook. I want to make the Tomato Girl Summer chapter. There's 6 of us. You're making this, you're making this, you're making this. Like, that's my kind of like potluck.
Yeah.
I do not do a classic potluck. I'm guessing you don't either.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No.
I also don't go to other people's houses for dinner.
Yeah, we did talk about this.
I don't. And I hardly go to restaurants. I mean,
Yeah.
like you, I was the little kid that wanted to be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
My parents would be like, go play with your cousins. They're outside. And I was like, no,
absolutely.
I want to be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That was me as a little kid growing up. My first job was in a restaurant. I cooked professionally up until this wig really took over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can't wear a wig in the professional.
No.
Exactly.
So yeah, being, that whole...
Yeah.
Being around food, all young, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just my
I hear you.
life.
And I think that's a place that I'm at too. Like, I prefer to, if you invite me to your house and you're throwing dinner, I really have to hold back, because it's where it feels like my contribution to the world.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do much, but I can help. Like, I can get food on the table and I have a point of view about it. So I think, it was really interesting when I was writing all of the guides and all the tips and all the timelines. I had to you really have to stop and think about how you do something that you don't think about it when you're doing it. Yeah. It was really challenging. And
you're great at that.
I try. I try.
No, the tips that you put in both the first book and this book are they're fun. They're so creative.
Yeah. Well, I think it was important to me to one, like I listen to the questions that people ask me. So these books are really informed by my audience and my people. I know what you all want to hear and what you want to know. And I get asked the same question a lot. So that was really exciting to have that information. And also like, I'm not doing anything like that's above and beyond. Like I have a pretty simple, straightforward. It's just, I have specificity in the way I do this. And that's the reason why I can share it, you know? And I think
do you get a lot of photos and feedback from all of your followers and friends? You do?
Oh my God.
I love that.
I do. I get photos of kids a lot. It's really sweet. Sorry. Let me start over. Parents lovingly send me photos of their children who are joyfully eating my food. That sounded better.
I love that.
Yeah. And they're like covered in like the vodka sauce or like baby's first meatball. Like it's really, I say a lot like mom supporting moms because I do feel like a mother in a way. And I think like if I can help, a stressed out parent or caretaker or mother in any sense of the word get their child or their person fed, like what else? There's nothing better than that because that's where all of this comes from. It's like me being fed by my family, and that's what I want to pass on. And I hear from a lot of moms or dads or whatever, like they say like, oh, I make your like New York Times spaghetti sauce like once a week, and my kids call it like mom spaghetti sauce, and they're sort of like weirdly asking permission, and I'm like, honey, like that is the goal. Yeah. Like if this recipe can allow you to have like mom spaghetti sauce in your repertoire, you don't have to talk about me at all. Like erase me. This is mom spaghetti sauce. I've done everything I need to do. It's really beautiful.
That is really sweet.
Yeah. It's like, makes me so happy.
I love that.
Yeah. But tag me. I'm just kidding. But also maybe.
But also maybe.
But I don't know. Depends. No, it's like this stuff does genuinely like someone early on in like I think 2021 when I put out my like peanut butter cookie, like holiday cookie recipe, the peanut butter blossom, someone messaged me, and it was the first time I kind of was like, oh, like this is just it. Like they said, my grandmother died and she took her peanut blossom recipe with her to the grave. And my family has been like searching for a recipe that works, that tastes like hers. And your recipe is it. For whatever reason, my recipe tastes like grandma's recipe. And they were like, your recipe now is grandma's recipe. And I just like obviously broke down sobbing because it's like so amazing.
It's special.
Like who knew? I'm just chilling in my apartment and at that time in Brooklyn, suddenly I'm grandma's recipe, It's just really cool. And speaking of holiday cookies, if you're just getting your hands on the book for the first time, the centerfold is all my new holiday cookies. So don't miss it. Don't skip the page. Open that thing up.
Isn't there some holiday cookies here?
There are. And actually that lovely person whose name is like Lisa or something, I forget, but she baked all the holiday cookies. So they're out there. It's really exciting. She even made the little teddy bears and she put bow ties on them.
Oh my God. So
I can't. It's too cute. Yeah. It's really sweet.
So tell me one more thing about the book.
Yeah.
So you also mentioned your family members so much throughout it.
Yeah.
And that is so special to me. It just makes me so happy. Oh, I just broke my ring.
Oh, no.
That's okay.
Do you have another one?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So tell me about that, because that relationship with your family is really special.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to be like, what's the why? Because there is no other option. Like it isn't like, oh, my family's not going to be in my cooking and my book and my world. Like it's just so inherent to what I do. I mean, like you grew up with your aunts and your uncles, and like I have these recipes that I grew up eating, and I'll take them and I'll tweak them and I'll make them like work for the for right now for the way that I cook, but they're still mom's recipe or Bimpy's recipe, and that's like such a connective tissue for not only me, but I hear, from people all the time, like, my mom used to do that, or my mom did that, but she did it slightly different. And so if I'm not a professional chef, I'm a home cook. I'm like, an experienced, joyful home cook. And like the reason why I have a following, why I get to write cookbooks, why I get to write recipes is because of like, I think they're yummy, but I think that the story behind them and the connection that other people are able to find through them is really the reason why I get to do this. Yeah. It doesn't really, the recipes are not the true reason, at least for me. And so I think if you can put food on the table and tell a story about it, like the why, that's like the best way to host or to entertain or
That's
to eat.
fabulous. Yes. Congratulations.
Thank
New
you.
York Times bestseller. Number 2.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this. I really,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I told you from the beginning that, you just immediately were the inspiration for so much of this. So I'm so honored.
So sweet. Thank you. I'm honored.
We're going to take questions from the audience, and it's going to be just don't hold back. We want to really have fun.
Questions? Start right here. I can hold it.
Oh. I think other than your Bimpy, your mom, and your Nona, because I couldn't get over the Negroni recipe, even though I don't drink. Did you have any inspiration from your other family members for the book?
For this book?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Kath? Kath's with the baby, isn't she? Kath is here, but like a good grandma, she's hanging out with Raina. And Kath inspired her, although we did get basically we've been quibbling about whether or not I did one specific detail about the recipe perfectly in the book, which is very classic, me and Kath. It's her pasta with string beans and potatoes that she made for me several times, and I asked her if I could adapt it for this book, and so she's a huge inspiration. Who are other people? There's Bippy, there's my mom's rice, my dad's swordfish is in the book. My dad and I grew up grilling with him, and he would always grill swordfish because it's the easiest fish to throw on the grill because it doesn't fall apart. It's almost like a steak, and so we would always have that. So that recipe's in the book. And there's a lot of different specific stories, but those are the people that I think are credited with in the title of the recipe. So my dad really won't stop talking about getting his pea soup into a book. I mean, would you want that? Raise your hand. I don't know. Yeah. See, no one raised their hand. Yeah. You want it. Heather's ready. There's ham in it. Yeah. Yeah. See, that kind of kills it. I love ham. Bimpy's chicken cordon Bimpy is an emerging favorite from this book. It's so good. Make it.
First of all, thank you for being okay with us sending you pictures of our children.
Yeah, you're welcome. No,
there are more where those came from.
As long as you're sending me pics of children, I'm not sending you pics of children. We're good.
Of my children. Yeah. Having lived here and then leaving and then being back, what food do you miss the most from San Francisco?
Oh, there's so much. I miss there's the taqueria.
But we also had chilaquiles every week.
Oh yeah, chilaquiles. Oh yeah, chilaquiles Primavera at the farmers market. That was our date.
Oh yeah,
so good. Saturday mornings. I miss that. I always go back for that. I always go to Tartine, although everyone really wants me to go to they really, really want me to go there. And I will, but I just love my Tartine.
Yeah.
I love to wait in that slow ass line while they dilly dally. And it just tastes even better at the end.
What do you get from Tartine?
Oh, what don't
Yeah.
I mean, I would house that banana cream pie for one. That's oh my god. And then the frangipane croissant, the bread, the morning bun. I mean, all the classics. So good. The Zuni is a classic. I haven't been there in so long, but La Chicha in Noe Valley is the best Italian restaurant. The lasagnetta are inspired by a restaurant in Noe Valley called El Borgo, which is the cutest little it looks like you're in Italy, and the waitress always had a fake ponytail that was so not the right color. I always was that's gonna end up on the table someday. It was dangling, but they did this beautiful it's a cinnamon bun but lasagna, and that's in the book. It's kind of like a craft project, so get ready. But we're gonna cook it together. I'm doing like a little class next week. So yeah, a lot of the San Francisco stuff ended up in the book, but those are kind of my stops. And then there's a taqueria in the Mission that I don't remember the name of, but yeah.
Great.
Yes.
One of the things I really love about how you engage with people on social media is how you lovingly set boundaries. And I imagine that's not a thing that came about spur of the moment. And so I'm wondering if you can share about like your process of developing and kind of maintaining those boundaries with folks. Yes,
thank you. It is a big sort of like, I think something people don't do a lot that I don't understand, because it's like, I'm 43 and like 5 years ago, I had started having more than 3,000 followers, and I didn't realize how absolutely wild west it is to just get messages from people all day long, just saying kind of whatever. And I'm very lucky that like, I would say 99% of the messages are like just a dream. Like I would love to get them over and over again, but it also opens up a world where people just kind of say whatever they're thinking to you. And it can hit some like landmines that are based on your personal history. And so I felt like it was really important for me, if I'm going to like, do what people tell me I do all the time, the best is like share joy on the internet, especially during times when the world is absolutely falling apart. I need to be able to experience joy pretty much, the majority of the time as well. And I think I always assume best intent. And I always try to let people know how they made me feel and sort of call them in instead of call them out. Because I think like I owe it to myself, but I also think in a way I kind of owe it to them, because they think that saying, oh my gosh, you eat so much, how are you not 400 pounds is like a compliment. And then I'm spiraling into like eating disorders and crazy history with food, and they don't know that. So how many other people are they doing that to? So I kind of have to, I think it's nice to sort of like gently be like, hey, maybe don't comment on my body, And in turn, just by like the way that I speak about food and the way that I share it without complication, is I hear from people all the time, like, I do have a history with eating disorder. I do have a bad history with food. And you're one of the only food accounts I can share, because you share food without judgment. You just share it from a place of joy. So that's what I needed when I was a kid. And I'm grateful that I can be that person. And it probably prevents me from having like 1 billion followers, but I don't need 1 billion followers because I'm an adult. And I and I had like a whole ass career before this. So it's lovely to have everyone, but it doesn't, it's like, it's more important that I like protect my peace, and that the 200,000 followers I have are like true, real people who I connect with, and not just hanging on to like troll me, So, yeah. Wow, you really got an answer. But
thank you. Oh, sure. Hi.
Hi.
So this is actually a question for both of you.
Yay.
I am curious how you host all of these wonderful dinner parties and have a good time while doing it. Do you get most of your joy from the excitement of all the work to do and hosting people, or do you actually find ways to have time to relax and sit down and talk to people?
Why don't you go first?
I definitely love the whole creative part of creating the dinner. I love the idea of how you're putting the menus together, of knowing who the guests are and what someone's going to love, and surprise people with something that they thought they liked the last time, but I've made it a different way. So there's that for me. That is a really strong part of that for sure. Conversation with my guests, and like you were just saying about conversation on social media, conversation with my guests is so important.
Yeah, it really is. And that's why I have Gus. No, I think like for years, my true joy of entertaining came from really the like hours and hours alone in the kitchen before the guests arrive, because that is the part that I just really feel the most like comfortable, and really sort of like I love bringing together that vision. And then I love when the guests arrive and I get to enjoy how wonderful they all are and how like happy I am to have them in my life and how we're like building support systems and community amongst each other. And I always try and bring friends in who I know are great conversationalists, who are like, you know, who, like you mentioned this too, like maybe we're like a server or can like sort of help move things along naturally, who can like read a table and understand that perhaps people might need something passed their way or the water refilled or those kinds of things. And so I definitely learned that from you.
I definitely know who can open a bottle of wine. There's always that one guest.
Yeah,
they can open
like,
the wine.
Can handle it. And yeah, and I think like, but I relate to sort of the like fact that like the getting the food, the hosting can be stressful, and that is why I really spent so much time making it so that by the time your guests arrive, like you really don't have anything to do besides just be present. But it's hard. I mean, my closest friends know that the 10 minutes before the meal gets on the table, like everyone leaves the kitchen and lets mom be by herself. But you know, I'm working on that, and that's why we have therapy. Yeah. But who else? Oh, we have some more.
Here.
Hi. Can
Hi.
you hear me? Hi.
Hi.
This question is for both of you as well. What are just some like staple ingredients that you always have just in case people decide to just like show up?
Totally.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like ours are very different. I want to hear.
There's always chicken stock in my freezer. I worked in a kitchen in New York, and that's all that I did for the 6 months that I was working there. I was assigned to make the stocks, and that French chef taught me how to make a perfect stock, and I still make that every day. I had another friend who's a chef who came over, and he was like, "Oh my God, how do you do this?" And I was like, "Well, that's all I did for 6 months,
Yeah.
12 hours a day,
Yeah,
was
exactly.
make a stock." So
Takes you back.
chicken stock for me is the main thing that's always in my freezer and ready to go.
It really does add flavor to literally everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's just like if I don't have like 20 pounds of pasta in the pantry, like I just know that it's not going to work out, you know? And so it's like olive oil. I joke that Let's Eat is a 5-ingredient cookbook. And so it's like pasta, garlic, like olive oil, salt, pepper, tomato, anchovies. You know, like you can cook for a lot of people with like very little money. Pasta is so cheap and it's so delicious and everyone loves it. So, yeah. Hi.
All right, two-part question. Do you guys normally have like a time limit for a dinner party? And then is there
I have an egg timer on right now, honey. Yeah.
Sorry. Is there a certain amount of people that you actually invite over per day? So like, you know, it's Monday, so I'm probably going to invite just a couple people.
Yeah.
Now it's Friday, so I'm going to invite 8 to 10.
Yeah. Okay. I love this.
I mean, I have a dining room table that seats 6. So it's either 4 or 6, but then I have an extension. So I could literally line it up down the entire length of my apartment and seat a whole bunch of guests.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's that for me, for sure.
I feel like 8 is a really good like max for like a really solid. Everyone can see each other, talk to each other, chat. There's not too many like side convos, people talking shit in the corner, which I also highly encourage at the same time. And so I think 6 to 8 feels good to me. And what was so I. One thing that that has people have asked a lot about in the book is I have sort of like a bit of a timeline, and I do encourage you to tell your guests when to leave, because I think and I say in the book that my line is, "This has been so much fun," but it's approaching my bedtime. And that usually gets people to leave. And I think what's important is 2 things. One, as a guest, it's really hard to sort of like, you kind of want to like make your host happy and be like, how long do I stay? Like, when can I go? Like, I want to go, you know, like, or at least as me as a guest, I'm kind of like, when can I get the fuck out of here? But so I think it's really nice to actually relieve your guests of their duty as being a guest. And so they know and they can feel comfortable. Yeah. Like, okay, like whether I want to stay or go, this is when Dan or the host feels good about that. The other thing is like certain people love to just keep going. Like they want to stay out till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. They want to chat. They want to do their thing. They're going to do that and you can't stop them. They will go somewhere else. And that is how these people roll. Don't know how they do it. I love them for it. But you're not going to ruin their vibe. Like, you don't have that power. So, like, tell them that the party isn't at your house anymore and they're going to, like, go to the bar next door or, like, whatever. And it's hard to remember that, right?
Yeah.
You can.
I start clearing the table.
Yeah.
That's when people know it's time for them to go.
Yeah. There are signs.
Signs.
But I like to just say it. Okay. Who's next? We have so many up here.
We have a lot in the front here.
He's working his way.
I have two burning questions for both of you. The first one is place cards or no place cards?
For me, I would say like maybe 2 or 3 times a year.
It's no place cards for me, but from the menu being hanging in the kitchen, I now print menus that are in front of every place setting. And I specifically tell guests where to sit when they walk into the apartment.
Okay, so that's my second question,
Okay.
which is partners next to each other or no, and mixed genders or no?
Oh, yeah, I mix it up. I kind of know, like, sometimes I'm inviting people over that have never been to my apartment for dinner, but I know who is going to be able to carry a conversation with them all night long.
Yeah.
So I seek people in a very particular way.
I just want to say that my experience of eating at your house is that you feel like Juanita is just so in control of the experience in the most beautiful way. Eddie's been there. He's agreeing. And that is what I want people to feel like they can do as a host. Like having a point of view and being a host that guides people is a really great way, I think, of hosting. And you do that just so beautifully. There are not a lot of questions. Like you are answering them for people in the loveliest way.
Thank you, sir.
Whether it's where to sit or what you're going to eat or, you know, all the parts and pieces. And I think that that is just, it's how I grew up. Like I knew which aunt was going to do what and, you know, which nana was going to, you know, pinch which cheek. So I think that's really great. For me, I think that like, I think partners being separated is nice. I don't necessarily like mandate it, but I think it's kind of nice. I don't really tell people where to sit. I think I like to see where the chips fall, but I do like to shuffle it up. Like sometimes I'll be like, okay, everyone, next course is coming out. Like let's ring around the rosy, which is fun. It is. Okay.
Okay, we're going to take 3 more, and they're all in this row.
Great.
Who are both of your dream dinner party guests?
Wow.
Each other. Yeah. Me in an Ina Garten wig that I borrow from Juanita.
Exactly.
By the way, I do post that photo every year for Halloween still because I'm so lazy.
Yeah.
Although, wait, I have to tell you, some grossy girl the other day was like, have you and Gus ever dressed up for Halloween as Val and Armand from the Birdcage? And obviously we all know who is Robin Williams and we all know who is Nathan Lane in drag. And it just made so much fucking sense. So I will be asking you for a new wig soon.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyways, dream dinner party guest.
Gosh, a dream dinner party guest. I've had so many special people already over to my house that it's been lovely. You know who I did have recently, which was really kind of crazy? Jonathan Groff, the actor. He was performing for a friend, and I got to cook him dinner, and he sat next to me and just loved every single thing that came to the table.
Yeah,
So,
he's such a cutie. I love that. Okay, well, since we're reframing the question, I'm going to tell you what happened on 4th of July at our house, who screamed? Okay. She's so deep. I love it. Oh my God, it's Amy. Hi, Amy. Okay, first of all, if you need wallpaper installed, you're calling Amy. She lives here. Amy and another one of my followers literally DM me and they were like, Grossy, you're about to install all this wallpaper. What if we come to your house and install it for you and spend the week with you? And they did, and it was the best thing that's ever happened. We had so much fun, and they're incredible. So thank you, Amy. We love you. I'll tag her later. On the 4th of July, Parker Posey was at our house for our barbecue, and it was absolutely wild. We have neighbors who are, you know, sort of famous, and she was at their house, and then she came to our house, and She was the loveliest, nicest, sweetest, most social. Talk about someone who you want to be at your party. She spoke to every single person at the party, was like a joke a minute, so fun. And then at the end of the party was like, I'm just going to clean up your whole house. And I was doing the dishes with Parker Posey. It was really surreal. So amazing. So see, if you dream it, it'll happen. Who needs Ina Garten, which was going to be my answer, which you already knew. Okay, sorry.
Ask two.
Hi, I'm Charmaine.
Hi, Charmaine.
So with each menu chapter being a theme, were there any themes that didn't make it during the editing process that you want to share?
This is such a good one. Yeah, there was a theme that actually turned into what is my favorite chapter visually in the book, which Eddie right here has a big part of because Eddie did all the wardrobe in the book. It's the Great Outdoors chapter, which is like the picnic blanket, sandwiches, a couple side salads, like put it in a Yeti and go outdoors, which is the only time I'll go outside is to have a picnic. For some reason, I wanted it to be like a fancy menu. Like I had that who's saying like, give me your one chance fancy? Was that Reba or someone?
I think so.
Anyways, I was like really into that lyric so I was like, oh, maybe it's like Kentucky Derby. And I'm like, who the fuck am I? What am I talking about? Like, I just want to wrap a sandwich in parchment paper and walk 3 feet out to my front yard and pretend I'm at a park. So it became a very what I thought would be like a fancy miniature and then I was like, miniature sandwiches. Like I became this person that I wasn't, and I presented it to my editor, and she was like, Grossy doesn't make small sandwiches. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what is happening? So it became the most massive turkey club and like a veggie sandwich and a lobster roll, and it was just like thrown on a blanket, put everything in like Tupperware and parchment, and it became this beautiful picnic chapter. So yeah.
Last question.
Hi.
Hi, Dan. I'm Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
So I'm currently a student of baking school.
Oh, amazing.
And are there any particular skills that now in your career that you wish to brush up on or that you would encourage me to pursue?
Oh, everything that you're learning, I need to learn for sure.
I have treats for you afterwards.
Oh, you're so sweet. Stop. You spoil me. Yeah, I mean, I'm a home cook, right? Like I learned from other people. I have no professional training. And so I'm always learning. I have friends from Molly Boz and Andy Baragani and Juanita, who makes the best fried chicken I've ever eaten. And I cooked with you for so long in your kitchen. And so this is how we learn, right? We learn from schools, we learn from people, we learn from friends. And I think that I have so much more to learn. I feel like I write recipes for the home cook, and I think there's a certain level of expertise there that I don't go above. But I'm always trying to figure out, different ways to do things. So I don't think you can ever know enough or learn enough. But I also think you don't need to know that much to get a beautiful meal on the table. And actually, we've been cooking a lot through these recipes this summer, which, I finished writing them a year and a half ago. And I'm sort of this book is such an easy, there's some really simple recipes that just really go a long way. So I'm hopeful that it'll get even more people cooking because they're just so simple. So, yeah.
I love you, Dan.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. It's really amazing.